Being a member of SWANA has actually helped me professionally. I started off when I was working for a solid waste consulting firm, joined SWANA right away, and being able to collaborate with other industry experts and have different perspectives and kind of put it all together.
When you're new to the industry, that access to other people doing similar things is so important to build that network and to find out who else is working on it, share ideas, collaborate. That's the best thing about SWANA.
It's the relationships. From the time I started at the local level in North Carolina and also at the national level, I've connected with a lot of people.
Being able to access professionals that know that sort of specific recycling and waste industry information is so important to advancing your career. It allows you to learn quickly about what's happening in the wide breadth of topics that are covered by SWANA.
It's helped me connect technically with people across the states, across Canada.
Being a member of SWANA for 20 years, you forge really good, personal relationships as well as professional relationships. And we like working with one another, we like collaborating, and we welcome new members.
And I always tell folks, especially the young professionals that are out there, get involved in committees, network out there, because you'll be so surprised at what you will gain from being part of the whole experience. And you don't necessarily have to have the world of experience, but what you do have to have is a willingness to work, to learn, to research, and bring something to the table. Reach out, be part of the experience, and you will not only help with the causes out there and with the industry issues, but you're going to help yourself in the process, professionally and personally.
SWANA's training programs offers an opportunity not only for those who have experience in working in and around landfills. It's been very beneficial to pick up and train those who work with my peers who aren't as familiar with some of the details of operations.
I chose SWANA for training because it is the premier solid waste organization in North America.
A lot of the top dogs in the industry look at SWANA as a value for their company.
Scale operators, accountants, other individuals that we don't normally think of as having an integral part to the management of our solid waste come to these programs, these training programs, and they learn a whole lot, and it's like, oh, is that why we do that? And I truly think that when those individuals go back and do their jobs, they're a lot better employee. But these programs are set up not only to protect our industry, but also to acknowledge to the public that we are working in a regulated industry and that we need to demonstrate that we have knowledge and that we continue to get education, that we continue to interface with our peers, and that we are protective of the environment and the responsibilities given to us by the regulators and by the public to manage a very difficult commodity, being waste.
SWANA's Manager of Landfill Operations course, MOLO, focuses on the fundamentals of landfills, including operations, site design, regulations, health and safety, cost controls, and more.
I would recommend the MOLO course to other landfill professionals because the MOLO course offers an all-encompassing course on everything to do with landfill operations, including planning and design, daily operations, construction, and dealing with regulators.
The biggest takeaway so far is a lot of the regulations that aren't openly talked about the operations level? Well, I am currently an operations manager for a landfill, so the entire training is wrapped around the operations of a landfill. So it's going to give me a lot of good insight on the small things that you don't think about in the field.
In this training, the MOLO training, the biggest takeaway is I really have a lot of more criteria to design and operate a landfill, and that's going to be really handy when I'm preparing the public bid.
It'll let me improve my operations and maintenance planning. It'll allow me to implement some best management practices for my stormwater control, and it'll allow me to pass on some information to my operators that will help them to get better at doing what they do.
I will recommend this training not only to other professionals but also to the landfill operators. We have 3 different landfills, so definitely I would like all the managers of these 3 landfills to attend SWANA course or program, because it gives you an idea of what is happening in other states, what other persons are doing, and what you can take back home and what you can implement to make your landfill better.
All the knowledge that we're getting is going to be very helpful to privately operate a landfill.
I think this MOLO course is going to provide me with a base of knowledge that I can take back to my job, and it's going to allow me to really know the ins and outs and how everything's connected in a big picture sense.
I hope after me, maybe we can train 100 or if not thousands of people in Guatemala and Latin America that are really needing some training.
The MOLO course is crucial for planning, operating, and closing landfills. Expand your base of professional knowledge by focusing on improving your productivity, profitability, and efficiency. For more information, visit swana.org/training.
Hi, this is David Biederman at SWANA. From a safety perspective, 2019 has gotten off to a very bad start for the solid waste industry in both the United States and Canada. We've experienced 17 fatalities in the first 22 days of January. This is unprecedented and unacceptable. Some of these incidents involve industry workers, while the majority involve driver and passengers in other vehicles or pedestrians. Each one of these events is tragic and results in a grieving spouse, parent, or child. SWANA calls on all solid waste employers in both the public and private sectors to review their safety protocols and make sure that their workers are following them and are properly trained. Employees are reminded not to cut corners and to comply with all applicable laws, traffic regulations, and company safety policies. All employees deserve a safe working environment and should be able to go home to their families at the end of the day. Let's do whatever we can to make sure the hard-working men and women of the solid waste industry go home to their families at the end of each day. Thank you.
a sustainability professional and a SWANA member, I'm excited for WasteCon 2019.
I think WasteCon 2019 is going to be a really great experience, especially being hosted in Phoenix. There's a lot of innovation going on in Phoenix. The city is working with Arizona State University to do a lot of research and develop markets for creatively using waste materials.
I'm excited about WasteCon 2019, Pathway to Innovation. I think this is really an exciting time in the solid waste industry, and I think that there's going to be a whole myriad of innovation that's going to happen in the next 5 or 6 years that is just going to change this entire industry.
Phoenix has had a lot of challenges in the past few years, and in coming into this role where they're a true leader in sustainability, and they're starting to set the standard for the U.S. in terms of moving towards a more circular economy where we're reframing how we think about waste as materials for manufacturing and inputs for other creative uses, other creative production uses.
I am really excited to come back to another WasteCon, to reconnect with a lot of the people that I've got to know, to meet new people, to see all the innovative things happening in the industry, and basically just to learn from other people's experiences.
I get a lot of experience and benefits from attending the WasteCons because that's a high networking opportunity. You learn something new.
Because I went to WasteCon last year and it was an absolute blast. I got to learn a lot, and I actually really enjoyed WasteCon too. It wasn't what I was expecting an exposition to be like. It was actually a lot more personal than I thought it was going to be. And being able to directly interact with the people up on the stage or behind the podium and ask them direct questions with how knowledgeable they are, being able to hear their direct opinion and hear their direct perspective.
You get to network with people, you get to meet different companies and different products that you didn't know were out there. And maybe you could have an influence on their product, or they could have a solution for some of the problems you have.
There's a lot of camaraderie. Solid waste is a family, and we all learn from it.
Just having that opportunity, I'm going to do whatever I can to go to WasteCon.